And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for like probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today, we are going to be continuing on our quarterback tiers list. We're also going to be talking about the George Pickens trade. We're going to do that off the top right after the read. Sean, I was like so surprised. I texted you this earlier. I was so surprised that we somehow managed to create the perfect tiering system for ranking players. And it went so swimmingly that we're going to do this for as many positions and position groups as possible. We'll lump some together just because I think it'll be too hard to do just offensive tackles. Like we got to do all 32 offensive lines. We got to do all 32 defensive lines and whatnot. But I'm stunned by the fact that all it took was for us to do shit or not shit for the 2 tiers. And we've had the most positive response. I pitched it to you on a kind of like a hungover Sunday in a little bit, in a way this past Sunday, not thinking anyone was going to resonate with it. I thought people were going to call us dipshits for the way that we were ranking our quarterbacks. But
Who pitched what to whom?
I pitched you shit or not shit.
No, you did not.
Are you taking that from me? Hold on.
You didn't spin it to shit or not shit. I spun it to shit or not shit. That's a heads up. We had a nice little doorway discussion.
No.
And I came up with shit, not shit. Are you kidding?
No, I pitched it to you.
I had a nice little sarcastic snippet for the top about how happy I was with the process, about how our analytics department has been killing it with the shit or not shit valuations. Where's your brain at, pal?
What are you talking about? On Sunday, I was the one who brought that up. I'm confused by...
You brought up, hey, let's think of some funny topics. Typically, like Sunday, there's not a bunch of news breaking that we're going to go with.
You are gaslighting
and
me. I remember coming out of my mouth. What if we just did shit or not shit? As the tiers? That was in the doorway of my workspace.
I said verbatim, let's just do shit or not shit. Let's put.
You are making that did not come out of your mouth. That you are.
What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
You are gaslighting me.
Did I get
no?
No. Okay, time out because we're entering a nasty part here where because I got over on you on my Save a Life story, now you're taking the reins on shit, not shit. Is that what's happening?
I pitched the idea to you. I don't understand. The conversation that you just recounted did not happen. I am not doing
your conversation. Didn't happen, pal.
It did. It was in the doorway.
I told you. Yeah, that's what I said.
It was in the doorway. You came in here and we were trying to figure out what to talk about. And we were talking about quarterback tiers. I was the one who said shit or not shit.
Thank you, RR.
This is insane. Well, we're doing the AFC quarterbacks today, and we're going to continue doing it. Before we get there, though, Sean, can you just tell our listeners about BetOnline?
I'd be happy to. BetOnline, it's the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for all your sports betting action. You know, baseball season's in full swing, so is idea theft. And we're in the home stretch for the NBA, NHL playoffs. There's a lot of sports going on, people. Every night you're going to get delighted with a nice playoff game. Have a nice little wager at BetOnline. That's nice. Put a rebounds prop on Rudy Gobert to get over 12. Will he do it? Who knows? He's Rudy Gobert. He's going to lose the bet, but it is what it is. You can have some fun with these playoffs. You can have some fun with these sports at BetOnline. And in between the games, head over to the BetOnline casino with the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. Vegas, still a sore spot for some. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Let's talk about this George Pickens trade. My first, immediate gut reaction, George Pickens traded from the Steelers to the Cowboys. Steelers now have DK Metcalf. They've got Roman Wilson. They've got Calvin Austin. They ain't got anything else. Dallas Cowboys get George Pickens. They've got CeeDee Lamb. Rest of the receiver room's pretty barren. It's pretty empty. I question who actually wins in this situation? Who actually got anything out of this? Did anybody actually net a positive trade? I think that the Dallas Cowboys, this move is going to work out really well for them. I think that George Pickens' physical style, the way that he is able to corral the ball when it's just thrown in his direction, the way that Dak likes to just set up his guys to succeed when he's out there and he's starting, just throw the ball in their direction. Hopefully they come down with it. I think that George Pickens is conducive to offensive success and a step forward for Dallas here. And I'm not going to say that Jerry Jones was truly smart enough during the draft to think, hey, yeah, no, we're planning to take George Pickens. We're not going to draft any receivers during this draft class. I'm still a little bit against them not having some sort of a contingency plan or even considering drafting someone. But I think that having Pickens in the room as your second receiving option, instead of them ending up drafting Tedero McMillan, who would have been playing a very similar role, this is taking this offense a huge step forward.
To your question, who won this? That is like who's winning in a decision between eggshell white and ivory white. It's seashell white, the team that wasn't involved, the team that said, we're going with seashell and you two jackasses can go schlop it up and Arthur Smith it up alone in peace. We're not getting involved. Reports coming out about teams laughing, I think per the Athletic or Bleacher Report, laughing at the premise of having George Pickens in the locker room. I thought he was a good player. I thought he just played hard. Now we're starting to reveal some light on the whole situation. Again, a report's a report. I haven't seen a GM. I haven't seen a coach say, yeah, there was no shot we're getting George. We're not going after that dude. So it's just a report. But the Cowboys, I like it because George Pickens makes Dallas exciting, which is what they've been lacking over the last 3 years. George Pickens also young, versatile at the wide receiver position, and you're helping out Dak. Dak can't do it all on his own. We all know that at this point. So I think the Cowboys are coming out much stronger than the Steelers, even though the Steelers' track record of letting receivers go has been exponentially in their favor, given the success rate of Steelers receivers post Antonio Brown. I'd even throw some in before Antonio Brown for that.
Well, I think that naturally for me, like the Steelers are the losers in this situation because they don't, it's DK and then no one. And I don't even know if DK can be the only receiver. I'm sure he's going to be productive, but him as your only option, how does your offense look? Can it actually be capable enough with just him, with a rookie running back and Mason Rudolph? Let me pitch this in the opposite direction, though. So one thing that's been brought up is how Mike Tomlin has managed toxic personalities in the past. The Antonio Brown, you traded him away to the Raiders, and then it all kind of comes out like, oh, this dude was a psychopath. And Tomlin was able to keep this relatively under wraps. Pickens, it wasn't under wraps. It was pretty out in front of our faces. All of the problems he was getting himself into on the field.
He was fighting on the field,
he
Joseph. He was punching players on the field.
He was fighting on the field, and then he was also apparently showing up late, showing up untimely. He was a healthy scratch a number of times.
Yeah.
I would argue less control. The perfect guy to have him Brian Schloppenheimer is not going to control him at all. I don't think he's going to try to control. I keep hearing these interviews with him, and they're asking him like his team building philosophy and all this stuff, and how he wants to be a player's coach and all this. And he's trying to get to know everybody. He's taking everybody out to dinner. First of all, that dinner with George Pickens is going to be really interesting. Second of all, I think that as little control as possible and letting George Pickens run free like a butterfly, we're going to get the true version of George Pickens. I want uncaged George Pickens.
You'll get it in Dallas, Joe. You'll get that.
Exactly.
Thank you, Danny Diaz. $5 super chat. Pickens is less of a locker room issue and more of just a weirdo.
See, that's how I'm reading it. I think he's just weird, and I think that the whole Pittsburgh roster, nobody knew how to match his energy. I think that Jerry Jones and all the weirdos in Dallas are going to know how to match his energy.
We're going to get another fight on the Star, which I love. That is a memorable moment for me in Dallas.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's a perfect example. Terrell Owens was not the same level of menace, but he was kind of a menace when he was playing.
Mount Rushmore, both of them, at least for wide receivers. I'd have them both up there. It's real interesting because Dallas, I don't think a normal person could operate in that type of environment. As we've heard at least rumblings. I know there were rumors that have since been somewhat dispelled about Jerry only cares about getting people in the building to tour and pay and ticket price to see Jerry World and all that. And players, there were reports about the players that were talking about, oh yeah, we were trying to work out, and then tour groups would come by looking at you, try to hang clean. You got to be a different type of cat to play in Dallas. You got to be an even bigger, different type of cat to succeed in Dallas. George Pickens, this is crash out city or legacy time.
I think it's legacy time.
I am leaning legacy time.
I think it's legacy time. Nothing I hate more than a guy who is deemed, quote, problematic, a distraction, all of those things, and they get sent off to Jacksonville or Tampa or Cleveland. And they're just kind of shipped to a very quiet city because said quiet city is only willing to take them on because they think in a different environment that is not in the spotlight will help them realize their potential. No, those guys go crazy. Those guys thrive on chaos. They thrive on everything being all over the place. I think that George Pickens, he was born for this. He was born to be a Dallas Cowboy. His energy and his play style, not only on the field, but also just in the locker room, in the mix, in the media. That one Dallas station that has Jerry Jones on every single week, I want a booked paid spot every single week George Pickens on. He doesn't need to give me a full sentence. I don't even think I've ever heard George Pickens talk, if I'm being completely honest, but we need to set that up. He needs to be doing a weekly spot for them.
Now, I saw something, if we're now, I'm going to play some matchmaker here. I saw this inspired take on X today about Cowboys adding one more piece for Schottenheimer. Nick Chubb. Schlappenheimer, pardon me. The Nick Chubb connection. I didn't even know Schlappenheimer was at Georgia when Nick Chubb was there. Nick Chubb, technically available.
Do they have anything left? Dude, they have 6 running backs.
Do they have one good running back?
No, and he would,
Nick Chubb would be.
He would fall into the current group that they assembled of Javonte Williams and
Chubb
Miles
better.
Sanders.
Chubb more better.
No, but you're just you have 2 rookies. One of said rookies had a completely serious injury, Phil Maffa, that impacted his ability to finish the year last year, and he powered through it. But all 3 of those guys, the wheels are falling off of all 3 of those guys if Nick Chubb enters the room. That doesn't excite me.
Chubb excites me.
Chubb has suffered so many gruesome, significant injuries at this point. And what, dude, am I supposed to believe that is he 30 yet? Is Nick Chubb 30 yet? Let me look that up. There was another player.
He's Schrodinger's 30.
He's 29.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I felt like I could say he was or wasn't.
I don't know if that really, really excites me, though.
He excites me. Nick Chubb is a dude. He is a guy. He is a pro. He's a pro. That Dallas backfield isn't filled with pros. They're filled with guys that have spent time in the league. There's a big difference, Joe. Correct?
Running back is the one position where I don't care if I have a veteran leader. If you're banged up and you're constantly hurt you've suffered gruesome injuries, at the one position I need health, that doesn't matter to me.
Who's the veteran leader on the team then? Who is
Dak Prescott?
That's done what? Besides be appointed leader because of the position that he plays. Who is the leader on that team?
It's Dak Prescott. I'm going to keep saying it. What do you mean, what has he done? He's had high-level statistical performing seasons. He just hasn't lived up to the Cowboys' expectations. We talked about this last week when we did shit or not shit.
I bet he's lived up to the Cowboys' expectations. He hasn't lived up to the nation's expectations for the Cowboys quarterback. Big difference.
Changing your tune from Sunday.
I don't think that. I think they need a pro's pro, and that's Nick Chubb. Squat-a-thon all year in Dallas. Get the team ready. Run through some defensive tackles in training camp. Ruffle some feathers, and then the offense has the attitude. Good. George Pickens fighting people? Great. This team needs to be adjusted. They're not good enough as is. We both know that.
Are you buying into I'm still not for that. Are you buying into the rumors that Alan Lazard, Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson are now rumored to be potential receivers who could get traded to or end up on the Steelers? Are you buying into that?
What Alan Lazard? What am I missing here? You named Alan Lazard, Jordy Nelson, who retired in 2017, and Donald Driver, who retired in 2016.
Greg Jennings.
Oh,
Randall
they're
Cobb.
trying to sweep the bot? Okay. You know what? Literal Sean was in here for a
I
moment.
thought you were picking up on it, so I kept going.
It was so ridiculous that it irritated me into being literal. The Steelers are crumbling in front of my eyes.
I feel like Allen Lazard's going to end up being there.
Why the? Answer me this. Can you put on your scouting hat real quick? Just give me some real deal football analysis here. I know you're good at that.
Sounded a little
just
like you're patronizing.
Well, we like the bullshit on here. We don't put on that radio spot tone. Can you do a radio spot tone for me real quick? What is Allen Lazard good at? What is the benefit he brings to your team?
He's big. I know you wanted like a real analysis. He's just big. He's big. He's big, and Aaron Rodgers likes him. That has been Aaron Rodgers' his go-to. His whole these whole past 5-6 years is that he just surrounds himself with the people that he likes. So when he's not allowed to surround himself with the people that he likes, he's out on it. I bet you they will try to trade for Allen Lazard in the next couple months.
He can't learn to like DK Metcalf. He seems like a pretty likable guy.
Yeah, Lazard doesn't fit with Metcalf. I saw that there was an actual rumor about Lazard, but the other speculation of the other Packers cast-offs, if you will, made me think that was just a total BS projection by people saying that like, oh, Lazard just kind of follows him around like a puppy dog wherever Rodgers goes because Rodgers has to. He's like
break it off, man. I don't know what Allen Lazard does well at this point.
Nothing. He's never done anything well.
You're getting eviscerated by a very narcissistic chat member right now, by the way. Danny Diaz. Hey,
Why
Joe.
is he narcissistic?
Talking about veteran running backs. Barkley, Henry Jones. He got you there.
That's a very small. Okay, but for the amount of.
I'd also throw in Adrian Peterson on the Skins when he was there. That dude was booming. And they cut his ass. And they got worse.
There are so many. I'm talking about guys that are like over the age of 28 and that have had multiple injuries. Saquon does not fit that. Derrick Henry is an exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. So I'm not counting that. We got to get the shit or not shit. This is going to take us a while. I want to have the appropriate amount of time to do this the right way.
Gotcha.
We have established the perfect way to rank quarterbacks.
I have.
Shit or not shit are the two tiers that we have. And we are doing AFC quarterbacks. We are going to start off with Drake May. Of course, actually, you know what? We're not doing that again.
We did the same thing.
We're not doing that again. Yeah, we're not doing that again.
Just put him in the middle. Just throw him right in the middle.
Yeah, I changed my mind. We're going to start with the obvious one.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. Obvious. Not shit.
Not shit. Good vote for me. Let me get my sounder ready. Again, we do not have a not shit sounder. We only have a shit sounder. So if we have a shit player, you get the shit horn.
Obvious quick analysis. Josh Allen, MVP. Actually, I don't even think we need an analysis.
He's the man.
Yeah. Top 3 quarterback in the NFL. He's obviously a not shit starter. Joe Burrow, not shit. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He was so good last year that the Bengals stunk. They were so ass on defense that he was an MVP candidate despite not making the playoffs. That's unheard of. That's something that you don't do. He's also very handsome.
He clears. I don't know if this is we're not doing a shit or no shit in the looks category here.
What if we did a fuckable, not fuckable quarterback tiers list?
Let's see how far we get into the first original premise, and that might be a July category.
Okay. Lamar Jackson, obvious, not shit.
Yeah. Not shit.
You hesitated there.
No. It wasn't.
Hold on.
I swear to God, it wasn't a hesitation on Lamar. It was the thought of the hottest quarterbacks in the league that I had, where I can't remember.
Oh, you were trying to decide if you would have sex with Lamar Jackson.
Well, but the way I was thinking about it was how many models do they get for a Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition? Do they get like 6, 8? I couldn't remember, so I was thinking about that because I think that we would just pitch our own Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, but with NFL quarterbacks.
I like this.
That's what I would go with.
Yeah,
but I couldn't remember the number. That's the only reason I stalled on Lamar.
I actually like that segment if we did a
Lamar might be on my cover, by the way. He really might be.
Joe's on the cover.
Joe's doesn't have the body to be on the cover.
Well, he doesn't have the body.
Lamar coming into the NFL. Yeah, I've seen.
All right,
Lamar coming into the NFL wouldn't be on the cover, but he got his shoulders right and he's broader.
We're descending into madness here. Anthony Richardson would be 1A. First of all, he's got the best build.
What are you talking about?
He's the most jacked quarterback in the NFL.
That's like putting an Instagram model on the cover. You need a real model, a real quarterback.
Give me a break. All right.
Patriots.
Patrick Mahomes, obvious, not shit. He is on the track to being maybe even the best quarterback of all time. We won't address that or talk about that. Here's an obvious one, but I think that it's not. Here are two guys that should be not shit. CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert.
CJ Stroud, immediate not shit list for me.
Okay.
Immediate, not even a question whether his team and front office can provide him to be not shit. That's up to them. But CJ Stroud as a quarterback alone, not shit.
I appreciate Danny is playing along with the game of attractive quarterbacks. Yeah, CJ Stroud.
Danny's just in here because he left a voicemail. Great. Sorry to bury the lead. We got a voicemail from Danny Diaz. It's a good one. Stick around for it. But he's just waiting until we get to the hack bag. Going to be another 30 minutes, folks. Buckle up.
Stroud, I think that this year we kind of learned. The first year, it's a little bit of the thought of like, hey, is this just lightning in a bottle or is this sustainable? And I think that the non-ball knowers were saying, oh, sophomore slump. Total nonsense. That is a ridiculous take. There was such drama and craziness that we now find out afterwards with their offensive line. Apparently, there was a whole locker room issue. The room wasn't getting along. It still was playing awful. He was getting hit so much. Despite all that, the injuries with Tank Dell, the inconsistent availability of the receivers, him elevating through all of that, I think is like the clear, like he will be in not shit for me for a very long time unless he completely falls off a cliff. Like he would have to have 2 to 3 bad years in a row to fall into the shit category for me.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, are you comfortable with not shit on him? I am fully comfortable. I know that he is if man. He's the king of hypotheticals.
Let me see if I can pull this off real quick. Just let me see if I can pull this off. Justin Herbert.
So
just
half.
a little bit. No, that was like a fifth of the shit horn. Which he's not shit. And I'm officially on the not shit boat, but we're close. Like we have to acknowledge I'm waiting for something. Because intangibles, yes. Arm, yes. Mobility, yes. Toughness.
What are intangibles? Just big.
Look in the part.
Chin.
Look in the part. Exuding confidence on the field.
Big white boy with flowing hair and a nice chin. Is that the intangibles?
I don't care if he's got long hair, short hair. It doesn't matter to me. Brady went from balding bald to long hair. All the locks, doesn't matter. But when does Justin Herbert really do something? Because we've seen that the Chargers invested in the offensive line. I thought the offensive line was solid after Rashawn Slater and Zion Johnson were there. They brought in, I think they had Corey Linsley when he was a starter. They've had good offensive lines. They have had good wide receivers. He was there with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Had Austin Eckler in Austin Eckler's prime. He's had tools. Maybe not all the tools have been cohesive at the same time, and that's different. And he also had a major jackass. Jackass 1A for me. In all the football world, Brandon Staley, king jackass when he was in Los Angeles with the Chargers. So that hurts. That helps Herbert's not shit case, but I'm waiting for it. And I think a lot of people are waiting for it too. Right, Joe? Like that has to, you have to admit you're waiting for it.
No, I think that you're being too restrictive on the projection here because Herbert has never been in the bottom half of quarterbacks in the NFL. Like he has always been at the very least middle of the pack, been a little bit better. That is the delineation of shit or not shit. Is like, were you ever in a period of time where you were one of the bottom 10 quarterbacks? In this past year, especially, were you a bottom 10 quarterback? No. Did he have some bad games? Yeah, he played awful in the playoffs. He had a couple rough spots. He also was throwing to Ladd McConkey and a tin can.
That boy Ladd went crazy last year.
But he doesn't have anyone else to throw to. His receiver room is
But he previously had them.
Okay. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think that there is a world where we could be revisiting this, but Justin Herbert is one of the most gifted quarterbacks in the NFL, and we need to respect him as such. Okay?
Sure. He's right now, his career arc is Phillip Rivers, which is bubble Hall of Famer, immensely great stats, wins more games than he loses. But I don't know, how many AFC championships did Phillip Rivers go to? 1? Was he in 1? With the Chargers?
I don't even.
He might have been a divisional guy only. I think he might have gone to 1 against the Colts and got booted.
My memory is
tough look there,
so I can't speak to that.
Herbert needs to get to the championship round once.
2 quick qualifiers. Yeah, but this isn't tiering of elite, average, and below average. It's shit or not shit.
Correct.
He is
why
not
he's
shit.
in not
I think
shit.
But
I had to blow a half horn for him.
Okay. The other way I think of looking at this is if a team didn't have a quarterback and they had the option to trade for a quarterback that we're talking about, they're automatically not shit for me. And I think that applies for some of the guys that we're going to talk about. I have to apply 2 qualifiers here before we continue on. Cam Ward, as we did last show, we are not including rookie quarterbacks. They are not allowed to be discussed just because we haven't seen anything from them. We're also not talking about any of the Browns quarterbacks because they're obviously shit.
Well, yeah.
Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett are obviously shit, and there is no clear indication of who is starting this year at the current moment. So we're not talking about the Browns. Let's move on to a guy who I think I know the answer to. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Tua.
Oh, Tua. Okay, interesting. Well, Tua's been up and down. He's had a lot of injuries, but when he's been,
yeah, I'm not for it. The contract that they gave him was so much money, and the rationalization for if he deserved it or not was so brutal to hear. It was, man, it's just so hard to find a quarterback in the NFL. It's so hard to find a quarterback that is at least average in the NFL. If you've got the right pieces around him, you can go on and win. Tua's had inconsistent availability. I know that he can't help the head injury stuff, so we're not putting that on him.
No.
But what is his signature moment? Throwing to Tyreek Hill, who picks up another 30 yards after he catches the ball every single time. This offense isn't exactly setting him up to flash all the tools and traits that he have. He's shit.
His signature moment came in college, which is unfortunate for him because he hasn't come close to that moment with Alabama in the national championship game. Unfortunate also for Tua. People expect you to be doing that shit, every week. Who said
Ryan?
Who?
Ryan is a bad quarterback apologist. He said that about Tua. Sorry, I got distracted.
I'm sorry, Ryan. Here's why Tua is in the shit category. He got paid so much money, which automatically brands you as a guy who is immediately going to be under the microscope for how your quality of play is. If Tua was paid $30 million a year, $30 million a year, I'd be much, much more lenient with him. I would be. But because the league and the Dolphins have put such an exorbitant price tag on the quarterback position, even if you're average, that makes the average quarterbacks look worse. So Tua looks worse because he is not meeting the prior necessary standards of a $40 million a year quarterback. He is shit.
Outside of sounding super critical, I just don't think he's just so blah to me. He does not.
Yeah,
he is in the perfect situation with a creative offensive coordinator and 2 of the fastest receivers and one of the most explosive running back rooms in the NFL. Everything is set up for him to succeed.
In a vacuum, Ryan is. This is the most triggered I've been by RR.
In a vacuum,
you're blaming Tua for the Dolphins' mistake. What's the Dolphins' mistake? Giving him Tyreek Hill, Jaden Waddle, Raheem Mostert, who had 17 touchdowns with him in one season in Miami, and Devon Achane, who is a good running back. In a vacuum, he's in the vacuum. He's been sitting in the
arsenal.
Dyson, Ryan.
He couldn't have had a better arsenal.
Who do you have? Mike Gesicki also? He had a good tight end?
A Jonnu Smith this past year.
Smith,
who was one of the most productive tight ends in the NFL.
God, they brought in Jalen Ramsey on the defense. He couldn't have been in more of a vacuum. How's his OL, fellas? You could make that OL argument for every team in the league except for 8 of them. Eight teams in the league have 3 very good starters and 2 passable starters, and they're qualified as great offensive lines. Everyone else has the same offensive lines.
I know that his offensive line's not good, but it's a lot of his injuries and a lot of the issues that he's had, I think, have been relatively self-inflicted.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how much.
Pickathon.
Yeah. I'm not here for this.
How about the Tua underthrow? How about every time Tua plays on Thursday Night Football, we have clip gods out here aggregating every underthrow from Tua. Some I think are unfair. I'll note that. I'll chalk up half of them to just being football. The other half, that's bad quarterback play. Tua is on the list.
Justin Fields automatically goes into shit. He just hasn't done anything. He's the least qualified for the not shit category. Now, he has potential. We all know that there is, and we've said this when he signed with the Jets, that he could have this Sam Darnold type of a year in a better circumstance with lower expectations, just hoping to get something out of him, and he finally progresses and develops and takes the step, reconnecting with Garrett Wilson. All those things can happen, but to this exact point, he is an athlete and he has been a very inconsistent quarterback. Actually, he's been a bad quarterback. He is not inconsistent is too nice of way of putting it. He has been consistently bad.
I would have preferred Ryan to have made an argument for Justin Fields over Tua personally, because I feel like if he's making the team vacuum argument, Justin Fields has been served much more of a raw deal than Tua has. Chicago was a dumpster fire. And also, Justin Fields still on the shit list for me. Like I'm not trying to qualify him as a bubble, not shit player, because you're right. We haven't seen him really do it. But he won games in Pittsburgh. He had a winning record as the Pittsburgh starting quarterback, gets shipped off to Siberia this year. Good God. So while he is a quarterback that really hasn't had a lot around him, he's still on the shit list. Yeah, it's fine with me.
Mason Rudolph is literally the first person I think of when I think of who is a shit quarterback. The fact that he's getting an opportunity to start this year?
Yeah.
What? Out of all of the guys that took snaps last season, like I would have thought that like the Steelers should have been in on Zach Wilson at the very least.
Well,
somebody who's got some tools. Well, he's not even a part of the discussion. Someone who's got a little bit of juice, something. But we've tried this in Pittsburgh. We've tried this. This hasn't worked. He's never been good. He's never had a good game. He's never been a key contributor. He's just been there.
Yeah.
He's shit.
Yeah, this is pretty easy. One more for the big man, Mason Rudolph. I could even listen to an argument about if he was on a different team.
Joe, wait, sorry. Ryan, what are you talking about my quarterback takes? Are you about to support Mason Rudolph?
Oh, well, this is Joe's QB takes. Ellipses yuck for the podcast only listeners. Yeah, no, Mason Rudolph is shit. And you're right. We already saw the experiment in Pittsburgh. This is why I get so irritated by the rehiring of Raheem Morris, because we already saw it. We already saw what happened. We already saw what Jeff Ulbrich also. Bringing the guys back doesn't work unless you're bringing them back on a farewell tour. Unless it's a guy that was with you in the early 20s, didn't work out, found great success on another team, and does one more double back just for the hell of it. That's the only time it works out.
I'm saying Zach Wilson because there were limited options. And with the limited options, I would have much rather have taken a chance on a guy who was a top 5 pick that had shown, a couple of nice things, a lot of lows. There were a lot of lows with Zach Wilson. Some could question, like, was he mature enough to handle what it would take to be a starting NFL quarterback, to be an early draft pick, all that stuff. I would have rather have tried that out than rehashing and double backing on a guy that didn't work the first time.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about Zach Wilson. He's going to start 4 games this year. He's going to continue to start games that he shouldn't because of incompetent actual starting quarterbacks that he's in front of, injury or non-injury. And also, there's not going to be that big of a drop-off between Tua and Zach Wilson in Miami.
Probably
if
not.
anything, I think Zach Wilson could do just as good. With a different game plan, you couldn't scheme it the same way with Zach Wilson as you could Tua. It'd be a lot more verts, but I bet we'd have a very similar amount of scores for the offense.
All right, here, I know where we're going to have some contention here. I think that Trevor Lawrence is not shit. I think that most teams would kill to have Trevor Lawrence right now as their starting quarterback. I really think that most teams would do, like the Giants would kill to have Trevor Lawrence. The Browns would kill to have Trevor Lawrence. I know that he hasn't lived up to, and I think our perception on him is marred because he was a first overall pick. So we automatically assume that he's got to be like Joe Burrow. He's got to be taking his team to the Super Bowl. He's had some amazing games. Like he's had some really big games, big performances in the playoffs, but he has been held back by coaching decisions, by roster limitations this past year, some health issues that he has dealt with over the past couple of years, those kinds of things. I'm willing to give him a little bit of a cushion. I think he's not shit. I know you're going to say the opposite, though.
He's had a good game in the playoffs against a Brandon Staley-led Chargers team, who I just previously noted as number 1 jackass. Also, give me a little bump here, just a little one. Your vocabulary, you've been in your thesaurus lately. You've been on one tonight. I'm not even being sarcastic. You've been good.
No,
I can't get a bump. 2 straight shows, no bump.
No, don't patronize me.
I'm not. It was
Where are you putting
good.
him? What category are you putting Trevor Lawrence in?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Is the system automatic veto if one person says shit?
We don't have a third-party decider. This is why I liked Fire, because it could be either one of us that he's siding with.
Most of the time, he would find a way to disagree with the both of us.
Yeah, the show when it was at is best, when it was me and Joe against Fire. That's when it was really peak, because Fire was just on a crazy tangent. Trevor Lawrence is shit because he was a 1-1 pick, and people have to keep making excuses.
A little
for him.
mental gymnastics. Oh, so I just made all those excuses.
Not you. But you didn't bring up Urban Meyer. You didn't bring up the coaching. You didn't bring up the rest of the team. You didn't do that.
I did. I brought up two of those things.
Brother, the dude is shit. Where's it been?
He will be not shit this year. I promise you that. 1 year Liam Cohen is going to get him over the top.
Liam Cohen's a jackass also.
This is where I don't agree with
him
you.
and
You're so
you
low
think you're
on the
Liam
Jaguar.
Cohen and you think you're James Gladstone. That's what you think. You think you're sweet with your nice little glasses and your slick back hair, and you think you're Liam Cohen.
No,
that's what you think you are.
Trevor Lawrence is going to bounce back. He is not your typical shit quarterback who is underwhelmed.
He's not. He is the atypical shit quarterback who you continue to convince yourself is going to break out, but ends up being.
I really hate that now that I think about it, that you have the trigger to pull that whenever you want. You have all the power on really indicating and putting in the listeners' minds on who is shit or not shit with that buzzer.
I think I'm being pretty fair with it. That's just where I'm at with him. You want to let Ryan decide on Trevor Lawrence shit or not shit? You want to give him a shot?
I think, though, a guy that is also, I don't have much of an argument here. Anthony Richardson's also in the shit category. I have faith. I'm hoping that there is some recoverability here. I really hope that Anthony Richardson can prove people wrong this year and buy himself a little bit more time and more of an opportunity. But at the current moment, he has played like shit. So he is automatically in the shit category.
It's tough. And I'm not going to be harsh. I really won't. I'm not going to go into old diatribes. It's tough when the clip of your quarterback, the first round quarterback that you drafted a couple years ago, and now you're in your mini camps or off-season training program, whatever they're calling it right now, whatever we're in, and your team, the main social account, is posting a clip of your quarterback throwing a 5-yard out to a receiver, and he tries to desperately overthrow him, and you could tell that he's struggling with not throwing the ball 1,000 miles per hour. And people are saying, I'm fired up about this season. You know what clip you post with Anthony Richardson, Joe? You post a clip of him throwing it deep. That's what you do. Well, you don't throw a 5 and out that he almost overthrows to a 5'10" receiver.
Screw the social media person who posted that.
It was a mistake.
He's ruining my narrative. Don't post a single Anthony Richardson clip. Not until he starts winning games. Just he's not on the roster.
When? If.
All right. Bo Nix is not shit for me. I think that Bo Nix is the not shittiest, not shit quarterback to ever exist. Not to ever exist, but in the NFL at the current moment. And what I mean by that is he does just enough to like float above the line.
I'll give you another one.
Float above the line. Like he's
float above.
Yeah, he's just kind of. He showed some good things, but it wasn't exemplary. It wasn't like, whoa, he is ascending towards becoming a top 5 quarterback like we get with some of these top 15 pick quarterbacks. Instead, it was a lot of, hey, these were some nice plays. He had a couple of big moments. He helped his team reach the playoffs. The driving force of their success was their defense this past year. I think that he is going to fit into that pocket very nicely for the rest of his career as like the 12th best quarterback. Mm-hmm. And he's just going to sit there. He's going to sit right there on the 12th best quarterback line and not move up or down.
It's going to be a tremendous, do we have to pay Bo Nix conversation in a couple years. It's going to be a tremendous.
But I think he is going to be the most deserving of it.
Yes.
Because he is the not shittiest, not shit quarterback in the NFL.
Bo Nix on my not shit list for sure. And you know what? I'll be a big fat mark here and say it was a rookie. He was a rookie that exceeded my expectations for him. Not that I was expecting him to go out there and fall flat on his face or flounder or fail. But what he did was exceed the expectations, rise above the noise, rise above the chatter on Bo Nix. He's too old. He hasn't really thrived. He can't really do it in the NFL. Bo Nix said, I'm going to jump up off of both of my feet and throw the ball in the NFL, and it's going to work.
Yep.
I'm going to run into my center's back and throw the ball an inch behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to work, and goddamn it did. Bo Nix, not shit, and honest to God, Bo Nix turning me around on Sean Payton. For some reason, the way that his rookie year with Sean Payton, their back and forths, the way that they talked about each other, it felt like real football. And I think more about Sean Payton with what he's been able to do with Bo Nix after year one than I ever did when he was in New Orleans. Ever.
I also think that he earned exceeding the expectations. So many people crapped on that draft pick, and he's been way better than everyone thought. Everyone thought that the Broncos were going to stink. Everyone thought that he was going to be a bust. And I know it's just 1 year. There's plenty of room for this to completely bottom out. I thought he was the highest floor quarterback, and he played like the highest floor quarterback last year of the quarterback class. I'm going not shit for Drake May. I think that Drake May, for having the worst environment around him out of any of the rookie quarterbacks, worse than he got thrown through the pit. And yet he managed to climb himself out of the pit. So much so that people are thinking and going, how is he doing so well? He doesn't have a receiver. He doesn't have tight ends.
Doesn't have a receiver. He wasn't even supposed to play last year. Last July, it was he's a project. And then by week 10, it's
just balling.
They got a guy. So I am with you 100% on not shit Drake May. Rookie season, how much tape did he get? Doesn't matter. I saw the arm. I saw what he was able to do. Did he, quote unquote, take over a game? Not necessarily, but he did just enough to be not shit. And evaluating rookies after 1 year is going to be different. We haven't had 3 years to really call him shit.
Yeah.
But year one,
he played enough. We got enough of a bucket. And the smaller sample size makes up for him not playing as much because of where he was playing and the positive glimpses he showed. Like with a limited opportunity to like really show positive, like, oh, this is what this can turn into with nobody to throw to and a bad offensive line and no run game. I'm astounded that I have a very bad feeling that this could turn into like an Andrew Luck situation. Like, I think that he got drafted into a team that the roster was so bad that it's going to take so long for them to turn that roster around that we're just going to be talking about like, oh, wow, Bo Nix got smoked again and he's going to be out for 4 games. And then he just deteriorates because the offensive line never like fully reaches where it needs to.
I'm not worried about him. I'd have those sentiments, Joe. I would have those if he didn't have Mike Vrabel as his head coach.
That's fair.
Vrabel just erect.
He's erect one more time. Slower.
Vrabel erects.
That was
ship.
less natural. But we tried.
Dude, that's why I can't believe I can't say that word.
Erect.
I don't think I can say erect.
I'm erect.
You know what? You're about to get a big old bonk for my new fun show stick.
Okay.
Mike Vrabel makes the ship better. It sails straighter with him at the helm. So Drake May right now, I could be in the biggest cloud of no doubt smoke that I've been in a while. But it's all signs are pointing north with that kid. It's all the whole ship in New England feels like it's changing.
Ryan is upset that I compared Drake May to Andrew Luck. I am not comparing him physically to Andrew Luck. I'm just saying circumstantially, Andrew Luck was on a team that never gave him a good offensive line. Never had a good offensive line until the end.
He had Nelson.
But it was until the end of his career that they like actually really built it up, and then he retires early, and the rest is history. Geno Smith, I'm going not shit. I think that Geno is like the last guy in the door for not shit. Like he just barely sneaks in because he just does enough. The fact that the Raiders were willing to go and trade for him, I think was an indicator. I know that we kind of spoke negatively on that deal, but for him being 37 and just providing steadiness is an indicator of being not shit to me. So he is not shit.
Steadiness, that is an asset. It's interesting. You can't bring that up with Tua because he's not steady, even though I think they're both at the probably equal in skill level on the football field.
I think Geno's better than Tua.
Geno also is kind of your favorite rapper's favorite rapper of quarterbacks. He's a brilliant passer. The clip cut-ups, he's a fantastic Twitter quarterback. Like you see cut-ups of him throwing this ball in impeccable windows, and you just have to say, yeah,
that was your setup.
Geno fits in the shit.
All right, well, you got Trevor Lawrence, so I'm allowed to keep Geno and not shit.
I would rather have Geno and not shit than Trevor Lawrence, but my final point here, categorically, where does Geno fit better if I list the names of Tua, Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson?
Geno's better than all of those guys.
Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, and Drake May. What camp does he more fit into?
But the problem
that is the only question. And I'm not even trying to get into a big Geno fight here.
The problem is that this isn't elite or not elite. That's not what the discussion is. We're not like really refining like who these are the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Super hacky. We're doing shit or not. Like we're just, as long as he can start all 16 games for my team and we can get to the playoffs.
Well, if
we put Jared Goff and not shit, I think that his impact for his team is comparable to Jared Goff.
Jared Goff goes to the playoffs. A healthy Geno Smith gets you 9 wins. If that's not shit, then that's not shit.
That is hard.
Then so be it. That's what the scale will be. But 7 wins, 9 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins. Great.
To recount the list before we move on to Hell Yeah, Get Effed, the shit quarterbacks in the AFC: Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson. Not shit quarterbacks in the AFC: Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, Drake May, Geno Smith. Comment if you agree or disagree on our ranking of shit or not shit. Sean, Hell Yeah, Get After the Week. Let's start with Hell Yeah of the Week. This is Hell Yeah of the Week.
This is the Hack City Hell Yeah of the Week. Cue the lasers.
All right, my Hell Yeah of the Week. I'm sure that you have seen this video, Sean. At a NHL playoff game, there was a video that was circulating of two fellows in one of the upper decks that were getting into a brutal fist fight. They were just laying haymakers. These are two guys in their late 40s. They much older gentlemen. And it's your typical hockey fight that you're seeing. You're just going like, oh, this is great. Who doesn't love to watch a good fight? I wonder if they got thrown out. Like, I wonder what the result of this was. It later comes out that these two gentlemen that were fighting were brothers. So this automatically goes into the Hell Yeah for me, that these two buffoons, I can just imagine that they show up at random places and they just get into huge fist fights with one another. That's something that society is missing. When was the last time that you knew of just two dipshit brothers that would beat the crap out of each other in public?
We hosted a pair of dipshit brothers at URI.
Oh my God, those guys sucked.
They did, but
I was thinking about them the other night for some reason. It randomly popped in my head.
Those guys in 20 years are the guys that are fighting at the hockey game, Joe. I love brothers. I love brother. I don't have a brother. Bummed out about it. I have two sisters who I love tremendously, but that's a whole different relationship. That is protective. It's caring. It's always looking out. Brothers is just a dude you've been living with your whole life. You either get along, you don't get along, you're connected to the hip, or you're pretty indifferent. That brother relationship is crazy. I don't know a pair of brothers that have said, yeah, I haven't fought with him. It's fists. It's everything. Twin brothers are insane.
Even worse.
It's just a crazy dynamic that we as humans still have, is that brother rivalry, that brother agitation. No one gets under your skin more. And I know sisters can get under your skin in a weird way, but it's always a little
thrown hands.
It's always a little forgivable. Yeah,
it's also more naturally like just passive aggressive, and none of that's the brother fighting will always be, as an outside observer and as somebody with a brother, will always be really funny.
It's always funnier. It's 1,000 times funnier. Sisters fighting is like can break up a family. Brothers fighting, it's like, oh yeah, they just haven't talked in 10 years. The family's still fine though.
Well, no. What usually is the result is when brothers fight, you kind of just brush it off and you just kind of move on. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, they got into it. They were at the hockey game. They probably were in a fight 3 days before. They get into fights you could tell that they get into fights with one another and then they just move on. I would love to know what the start of the fight was, and I would love to know the last time that they fought and how many times they've done it in public like that.
I bet it was something like this. I bet it was something like that to start a fight.
All right. I'm not fighting you.
Get your own stick.
What's your hell yeah of the week?
My hell yeah of the week. I love this one. I've been waiting for this one. Letting your relatives use just bathrooms in apartments that aren't necessarily yours. That's a hell yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Why are you doing? Have you done this before? Can I get a setup?
No. My stepbrother was here and he used your bathroom while we were trying to get ready to go. He didn't ask. That was on him. He went rogue.
Confusing to not ask to use a restroom. Did he assume it was your restroom?
I don't know. He kind of just does whatever he wants.
I liked him, by the way. I like that dude.
You said that you did.
Why? This isn't even necessarily on you, because normally a person as a guest would say, "Hey, I have to take a leak. What restroom? Do you have a restroom I can use?"
Okay.
And then you would say, "Yeah, we're related. My bathroom's in my room. My roommate's bathroom is in the hall." So it is tricky because my bathroom that I use is the de facto apartment bathroom for guests. I would understand that. But that only counts as guests that are not blood related.
Wait, why is this a hell yeah?
Because you got over on me and you totally punked me and you got your stepbrother's piss all over my bathroom.
Stop. Did he piss all over your toilet?
No, I couldn't tell.
We were like a minute away from starting and he wanted to come and observe.
I think it was during the intro, actually.
It was while we were setting up. He didn't want to be rude and ask us. So you're off base on this one. You're getting effed on this one.
I did get effed. I had 2 get effs, but I desperately wanted to talk about this.
I normally would have been like, "Hey, don't go in there. Go in there."
Hell yeah, Joe's family pissing wherever they want. Hell yeah, go crazy.
In your bed.
Bunch of freaking nutty Italians. That kid's got a future, though. I tell you what.
I don't know about that one.
Don't transit.
All right, get after the week. This is get after.
Get help?
I broke my knee, man.
No. Get effed.
Ice up, son.
It's the Hack City Get Effed of the Week.
My get after the week is the upside down text hats. Now, look, I know that this is something that people have complained about before many a times. I actually like the design. I actually like the upside down arch lettering on a hat. Like, I think it's cool. I've debated buying one before. I haven't found a design that I liked that I've gone ahead and bought one. I am now on the opposite side of this after I saw a picture on Twitter that I sent to Sean the other day. Ryan Russillo, I love his show. I listen to his show. He's a very good host. There is a TikTok clip from his show that his social team cut of him wearing one of these hats with the upside down text that says Hartford on it. Hartford, Connecticut. We've reached the limit. We have reached the limit of what we can put on a hat. Upside down text. I can't even get it out. It's so absurd. For Hartford, Connecticut. One of the most awful, useless cities in America. We both drive through it plenty, as we used to do it when we were going to the University of Rhode Island. This is the last straw. No more. We have gone past the limit. You couldn't think of a worse city to put on a hat.
This is your best take in a while, man.
I'm
I'll
surprised.
give you this is a full-fledged, all-time good take. The upside down hats have always been annoying to me. It was at least at one point a unique, creative design.
Now everyone has
and then everyone that has abs decided I have to make my own upside down hat from where I'm from, and they did that fine, successfully. Not knocking that, but Connecticut.
Hartford, Connecticut.
I have not seen, one good word about Connecticut in my life, aside from the New Haven pizza
scene. It is an intermediary.
It is a highway. It is literally a state worth of a highway. And this isn't even on you, Joe. I'm bringing back an old roommate fight, very old roommate fight that actually maybe my most passionate. It was a top 10 states fight where it just spurred.
Who was this with?
In Arlington. This was a fight that lasted weeks because one of my roommates, the dumbest of the 4, including myself, put Connecticut in his top 10 because he is a silver spoon bastard.
Has he been to Connecticut?
Apparently, he's got family that summers in Connecticut or does whatever. He's like, the nice part of Connecticut's really nice. Yeah, so is the nice part of Kentucky. Just because you're in a really nice house doesn't mean that the state is a top 10 state out of our 50 in the union. Connecticut doesn't crack my top 30, by the way.
It's wedged in between two amazing states. That's how you know your state is shit. Talk about a shit or not shit list we should do of states.
I'll do a shit not shit state list. I think we got that in our club.
No one's gonna watch that episode. Maybe we could SEO that thing up. Who knows?
Episode for 2. I'd be happy.
Ranking the shittiest states in the country.
Connecticut would get poor review from me.
It's wedged in between New York and Rhode Island, and Rhode Island's not a perfect state, but they at least have the fact that they're coastal and that there's uniqueness to it. It's so small.
All clam shacks.
All the different little spots near the water are so different from one another. Narragansett's different from Newport, which is different from Providence. There's uniqueness to it.
Yes.
People are very weird, but there's uniqueness to it. New York is a vast, large state that
New York.
Up north, there's some very beautiful areas of upstate New York. There are some very beautiful communities right outside of New York City, and New York City is one of the greatest cities in the country. You are just this awful little shitty wedge that should be New York.
It's a highway. And it's a bad highway. It's an
industrial mess.
It's a 2-lane highway.
It's the worst highway.
The entire state. It was, not kidding, the most daunting, ridiculous, and frustrating part of my 8-hour at minimum drive from Virginia to Rhode Island. It's a highway, and at that, it's a bad one.
Yeah.
So Connecticut, always. Actually, I gotta cue this up. Yeah, Connecticut.
There we go.
Permanent.
Get F Connecticut. All right, what's your get F of the week?
Oh, Jesus. It doesn't even hold up to my Connecticut rant. I was supposed to be passionate about this. Jalen Walker, wearing number 11 for the Atlanta Falcons. Get F. That's Julio Jones's number. That is a number that should be retired. That is a number that should not be designated to a first-round draft pick on the defensive side. A defense that has been horrid my entire life. My entire Atlanta Falcons fandom, they have had 2 defenses that I would say were passable. Maybe one that was respectable. Everything else has been garbage. And you are letting Julio Jones, maybe the greatest Falcon of all time, the best player that has ever donned your uniform, his number 11, likely behind Michael Vick and Matt Ryan, 2 quarterbacks in jersey sales all time by the franchise. You're giving it to the rookie? How about rookie, you get your own number? How about rookie, you have 5 sacks coming to you this year? How about you wear 90 or 55 or any other number but that 11? But because every first-round pick has to make some big lucrative splash, like he's in the LeBron commercial, they have to wear the most legendary number that's ever been passed down by the franchise. Here's something, Joe. How about a rookie wears 48 for a couple years like Bud Dupree, and if it sticks, he can stay with 48, or if he's cracked and goated, then he can put on that 11 as a nod. You can't just put on 11. This is past jersey retirement. This is about self-ownership and respect.
Cracked and goated, that might be the first time that's ever been used in a sports analysis context. Yeah, I think that everyone agrees. I don't think there's a single person that's trying to defend this. You don't think that it's at least a little bit of an appreciation for how great Julio was when he was tracking down defenders after interceptions?
That's funny. Walker went to Georgia. The Georgia fans that are also Falcons fans really love the kid. I haven't heard bad things said about him. I'm being harsh because I've seen the story before. Like, I've seen this movie. I know how this ends, which is frustrating because I don't really know how it ends, but I do. Just because statistically, it don't work out like that. You're not going to have Julio Jones wearing 11 and then Jalen Walker wears 11, and 11 is like the best number in franchise history, and every great first-round draft pick wears 11. Like, we're not going to set some precedent here.
Like, it doesn't become Penn State does that, where number 11 always goes to the best player on the team.
We're not seeing a Billy Sims, Barry Sanders, both of them wore 20, and then we have I'm blanking on the third running back to wear 20 after. I think his last name was Anderson, too. That's a bummer. But we're not going to do that in Atlanta. It's Julio Jones, man. Retire the number. And as a Giants fan, I would have been taking so much pride that LT didn't give up his number, and neither did Sims. And Abdul Carter's promise in the league, staggeringly greater than Jalen Walker's.
Well, right, and if anything, Carter would Carter will earn the ability to re-ask that question. He shouldn't, but he will earn the ability to re-ask that question. I think in this circumstance, though, yeah, I mean, it's insane. I know that this didn't happen, but it kind of comes off as some lazy equipment guy was the decision maker and was just like, he wants 11. I guess I can't really think of any reason why it wouldn't make sense. It's not on the retired list. I guess he can just take it and not really think it through.
This reeks of head coach to me. This reeks of Raheem that's saying, oh, you're my new defensive coach. You're my new Julio, but you're not going to be catching passes. You're going to be getting burned by Saints tight ends for touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That's my.
You better play
Julio.
well. That's see,
exactly.
If I was him, I wouldn't want to wear this.
It sets you up to be a literal franchise legend if you're wearing that number.
You better be good, otherwise people are going to just be consistently. Every bad performance you have, people are going to be upset and are going to reference that.
Take that 11 off. It's a bummer and it's too much burden.
201-834-4308. We've got the hack bag coming up to close this out. Sean, this is the hack bag.
The mail never stops.
This is the Hack Bag. Hit us on Twitter for questions or call at 201-834-4308.
So we got one voicemail?
We got a voicemail here.
Just one?
Let's just play the voicemail.
Okay.
Hello, Hack. It's the D-Man from X, the Everything app. I had a question for you.
Really annoying.
If you two were to Freaky Friday and change bodies, change consciousness in each other's bodies, what is the one lifestyle change you would do to each other while there that you hope would stick, right? So in this scenario, you know, Joe, you're in Sean's body.
Congratulations.
Sean,
I would be in hell.
why don't we lower the calories for a second, right? And you,
Fair.
You keep it going. Not saying that's the problem. Not saying that's
It is.
It is a problem.
Or, you know, Sean, you're in Joe's body and you're like, hey, let's.
I need LASIK. That's what I'd say.
Right? So,
What did he say?
It wasn't.
It wasn't funny.
What would be the thing that you would change?
He's not done.
Bye.
All right.
Now
Well, thank
it's
you.
done.
That was a good question. I'm surprised no one's asked us this one. This is a good question.
Yeah.
The problem is that, you know, me doing the calorie adjustment and getting you on the Joe DeLeone path to getting lean, which is weighing your food every single time you have a meal during the week. You know, you get your cheat meals during the weekend,
I weigh
but
my
I don't.
food.
I don't know. You don't.
I get every day at work.
You weigh.
I
weigh
get
in
my.
the toilet
I get it. I
after
say
it comes out.
I get my food. And I say, "Damn, that's pretty heavy," and then I gotta move on. And I eat it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good system.
I don't. You know, Freaky Friday only lasted for a certain period of time. So if this is only for like a couple weeks, I'm not going to do enough damage to fix you.
Sure.
So you're just going to go back. You're just going to go back to normal. I think the first thing I would do is I'd clean your room. I think that would be the top number one thing. I would clean your room.
My room's decently clean. The messiest my room gets is on Thursdays. It gets a full deep clean on Fridays.
Well, the one thing, and I'm not judging, one thing that just generally, like, you'll come out with plates that I know have been in there for a while.
Yeah.
And you've told me they've been in there for a while. Like, that's like,
here's okay.
I'm not looking in your room.
I appreciate that, but
I don't care to.
Honest to God,
the times I go past it, go to the laundry, the amount of things on the floor in your room make me not want to look in there. So that's what my motivation for wanting to clean. I don't know what your room looks like. I've never been in your room.
I understand that. Let me just clear this up for us here.
Okay.
If I have dishes in my room, it's not for a want or a need to be slovenly or lazy.
Okay.
It's that I use.
I'm not judging you for this. People forget things.
No. Yeah.
People forget things.
It's not even forget. I see it every day. But you, and this is not even judgment on you, your domination of the dishwasher cycle. It's like I miss the moment because I'm not going to do your dishes because you load up the dishwasher every day.
Well, but I've just
not
put
even
your
a judgment, but that's just what it is.
I've put your shit in there regardless every single. Okay, now we're just turning into a married couple, so like trying to negotiate. My point
I'm just explaining. If I have
if you
a
just
plate
put it
in
in
there
the sink, I'll put it in the damn dishwasher. I understand.
I like your bit of you leaving it on the counter.
I don't know where you put it. I legitimately have no idea where you put your stuff, so I'm just laying it on the counter and I'll let you handle it.
My plates go under your plate.
Don't walk this through me. I'm not putting your shit away.
Exactly. I don't want you to. I actually appreciate that.
I would clean your. My main point is I would clean your room. I think that would be one habit. I think that would be nice to help you.
I would unpack. If I was Joe, I'd unpack the bags out of his room. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
If I was
I did the opposite of you. I have a lot of shit, but I've just thrown it all in my closet.
Oh, nice.
It's just all in my closet.
You see, that'd be a panic
I
attack.
have pots and pans that are in my closet.
Okay. So room cleanliness, we're gonna make that we're gonna have that as a nice chalk because what consumes my dirtiness is clothes on the floor.
Mine's very organized. Like you
so
can't.
Mine. I got a closet with clothes in it, and clothes that are not in the closet are dirty. If I was in Joe's body, first of all, congratulations if you're in my body. You're gonna have fun with that big hog piece in between your legs. That's gonna be awesome for you.
I'd go up to the roof and I would jump as high as I could.
That'd be fun. If I was Joe, I'd get my eyes fixed. I'd immediately get LASIK, even though he looks better with glasses. I just think it'd be really funny to see him squirm and then have to be glassesless for a while. And then there's also a chance that LASIK goes bad, and then he's a little bit blinded.
Thanks.
He's got a floater for the rest of his life.
Thanks.
What else would I do? I get a grown man's haircut if I was Joe.
I don't. This is the best haircut I can do for what I've got going on.
I just wanted to hear his stance on it. I don't care. No, he's fine. Let's see. God, if I was Joe for a day, this would be so much fun. I'd get rid of my car, and I'd get a man's car. That isn't.
What is this?
Well, I don't think men should be driving white cars, but I'm not. That's just where I'm at.
You're trying to be hurtful because I told you to clean your room.
No.
That's what this is.
I swear to God, I'm not.
This is devolved into.
Room cleanliness is actually probably the easiest you could have gone on me, which I appreciate. You know what? Here's my final answer. I'd test out the Mr. 4 Patty. I'd see if I could do it because that's
a good answer.
I've heard a lot of lore about this.
I ate 7,000 calories in a day.
I really believe him
during the McDonald's thing. I had the 4 patties as proof.
I just would want to try it out.
You want me to go prove it right now?
What you're gonna go to? You're gonna order five?
We'll go to Five Guys right now.
I can't. We got to tape. We got also FCS on Friday. If anyone's floating around, yeah, exactly. We got to.
If we get to that.
Yeah, if we possible FCS on Friday. I would sleep through FCS because I was so full of Five Guys. It would leak through me like the Sprite commercial with Drake. It would just be all the burger.
Oh my God.
And just add the fries popping out of I'd just be evolving.
It's disgusting.
Hey, D-Man, that's a great question. Danny, that's a great question. Please feel free to voicemail in again, 201-834.
Yeah, that was a great
4308. You can leave Twitter questions like our good friends Rack and Chester, who have us covered for Monday, but that is Hack City Pod
Sunday
on Twitter. What did I say? Monday. I'm a jackass.
Sunday at 4. We will be back. 201-834-4308. Call. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy your weekend.